Hello everyone, and what is going on? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. Welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 Part 70. Part 69 is all clear from Japanese FR Challenge and Japanese Clubman Cup 550. Let's go back to the World Circuits and head on over to be right back at the event directory to go on Sunday Cup Classic and American Sunday Cup 600. For this part of today's video segment, as I just went down and do some purchasing parts on either vehicle to go on main pick. But I had to come up to have a better idea to go with American classic cars. This time, it's about to go with Chevy and Dodge to have two events to be available for my decision by pick. So let's see. Gonna have to start out to have two races available on Sunday Cup Classic and American to have two more remaining by the progression on 60%. Okay, well, this will be doing the perfect time and go in to have a classic to have two races available to be at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and Autodromo National Monza for only 2 laps. So let's see. This will be doing much fine maximum reward to go by 15,000 credits and go all the way up to 30,000 credits. For any kinds of recommend vehicle to go on road car category to be well classic, so I'm always gonna have to go in classic to see how it turns out. So I'll have to choose Laguna Seca and have two of the additional events on the classic and Sunday Cup to have few other opponents is now being applied, and main rival cars are about to be additional throughout every previous update until Spec 2 arrives. So I'll buy Go. Fully equipped on the G29 steering wheel is now being good to go, and wait for the pre-race interaction to be set and go on a nice classic competition. So out west up I go, heading back on Laguna Seca after clear from American Clubman Cup 600 on weekly challenge in number 2. Boy, looks like it takes brainstorming and doing a lot of rehearsal act. I just need to get myself to be on hold. But in the meantime, because whenever I might have to do a free time to do some changes to be updated from my previous video to be related to my full walkthrough across this in my GT7 journey. But just gonna have to get myself to be worked up and get my brain to be function well. Being disability is gonna be a very tough to be experienced to do this on my own. So here we have Dumont, Bonelli, and Magano. I'm Killian Dumont from France. The Citroen DS I'm riding may have a pretty face, but I think it was built for racing. In fact, this Citroen DS has a long history of rally racing. Why? It even won the famous Monte Carlo rally in the 1960s. Truthful and understandable to see how the Citroen DS21 Pillas is actually to become as a rally car to be participate in the 1960s back at the Monte Carlo rally. Alright, looks like the name's Lucas Bonelli. I'm from Brazil. This Citroen DS I'm riding is a landmark in automotive design. I hear that it inspired many people to become car designers. Good to meet you on board, Bonelli. Now for Magano. I'm Giorgio Magano from Italy. Today, I'm riding an Autobacci 8112 Abarth. It has its roots in Bologna, Italy's oldest bicycle manufacturing company. Established in the late 19th century, Bologna built bicycles, motorcycles, and cars. In the 1950s, its automaking department was absorbed by the Fiat Group. And so, the Autobacci brand was born. Very good inspiration and one car of the brand before being part as a Fiat company is now being born in the 20th century. Alright, let's grab my C2 Corvette and get ready to have a classic race to get the show on the road. Okay, looks like Samba Bus is going behind. Gonna have to be patient and let some few opponents to be driving on classic cars. But I might have to go easy on this time. I'm just gonna have to go on handicap because it has to be built on high performance to be driven on a classic muscle car. Okay, looks like gonna have to keep a good patient. Just gonna go old-fashioned to be as expert. Okay, Killian, you're on 7th place, and Megalo on 6th. Okay, got the opening. Here I come, and keep up the good pace. Well, unfortunately, it takes matter of experience to be driving on the G29 steering wheel to be well built and capable on any other further vehicles to have a best pick. But I might have to go on novice level to be well experienced to become as beginner. But unfortunately, any road car that has a good strong amount of horsepower can actually to go faster and higher. But even yet, because I just purchased all the parts from the tuning shop to be either depends on which kinds of different vehicles is going to be more likely to go faster and stronger by pick. But I might have to be preferred to have some good classic cars to be quite very good and capable when it comes to be challenging with some slow vehicles. Okay, now go on the right. Valerio Gallo is in the lead. Gonna have to catch up to him. He's driving an Alfa Romeo Giulia. Hit the torque and go full stretch. Yeah, that's good. Now gonna have to be maintain pace to switch in. Okay, nice Alfa Romeo for Gallo. He still actually tried to keep up and go underestimate my skills. I might have to keep a good maintain slow. Okay, switch up to the view. Okay, that's good. Hold it steady and wait for the opening. Okay, that's good. It takes patience, skill, and decency when you're doing the Ford event on Sunday Cup Classic. Depends on either to go Classic and Modern altogether. But characteristic, because Classic is going old-fashioned to have 20th century cars to do some basic and go like a pro to be well novice. Okay, going up and have to brake at the corkscrew. Apex, apex. Okay, final sector. This is it. I know this event is always meant to be piece of cake, but I'm always gonna have to enjoy it. Just keep it good, slow and steady. Now gonna have to take turn 11, pull some strings and stay on the first gear. Alright, well, doing one race with a handicap for the C2 Corvette does come in handy. But you know what else that might need to have a different Corvette? Way back from the 1950s to go by late. First generation is gonna have to take the best time to go on event number 2 after this, after clear from the Ford event in Laguna Seca. Fastest lap I recently took by 2 minutes, 5.160 seconds on lap number 2. Okay, that was a very good classic race. But I know you guys really think this is always meant to be having a piece of cake. But clean race does count, but patiently to go by concentration that you might need to do some one spot of the opening. So gonna have to keep filling up with some more credits after having one stop by in 19 million credits on the range. Alright, on to the replay and quick stop on the thumbnail capture image. That's good. So I'll have to keep that in mind for having my main diary log. One replay saved. Next up, heading over to be at the Mazda circuit to go classic. For taking the next step after using automatic transmission to be using on the G29 steering wheel. I know how you guys really think I should rather have to go on manual mode instead. So check again on the progress in 80%. One more to go. Alright, let's enter to have the fifth event, change car, and grab the C1 Corvette 58. Almost forgot to tell you folks, I just took one spending on parts to be purchased to see some recommendable adjustment to go faster and yet capable. But it does work in to come in handy to see how any kinds of classic vehicles to go faster or stronger to be yet capable. So I'll have to remove all the parts to be uninstalled. Remove the semi-racing from the clutch and flywheel. Suspension and LSD. So this looks good. Well, it takes a matter of short amount of bloopers and outtakes from the previous video, so I'll have to have this one to be cleaned up to be fixed. Okay, well, gonna have to do Chevy on Classic Sunny Cup, and then Dodge we'll have to do on American Sunny Cup 600. So you know, classic cars comes in to have a slower performance or higher performance in the 20th century. Just going old-fashioned makes a good simple amount of decent speed and acceleration for every Chevy vehicles from the first and second generation Corvette. Now arriving in the Mazda circuit for only 2 laps, this will be the final event in the Classic Edition. So let's have Valerio Gallo and G. Mangalo for having a pre-race interaction before the race started. I'm Valerio Gallo from Italy. Today I'm riding in one of Italy's most famous sports car, the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GT. It's a small, lightweight, rear-wheel drive car with Alfa Romeo's distinctive dog feeling. Its styling was penned by legendary car designer Giorgio Giuliotto. Alright, looks like Gallo is now taking the hands on the Giulia Sprint GT. Now for G. Mangalo. I'm Giorgio Mangalo from Italy. The Mazda circuit is located in the sprawling Mazda Park. Everybody knows it as the site of the F1 Italian Grand Prix. It is a high-speed track with 4 long straights, so you'll want to tune the heck out of your car. Alright, Mangalo, I gotta check and see how FF cars to go challenging to have a one tougher challenging on the FR layout, but also to be especially to have one RR drivetrain layout on the Volkswagen 1266, and of course to have the Samba bus. So let's cut the chit chat and get ready to have the final race on Sunny Cup Classic. Off I go, and go style in old fashioned. So give me one moment and have the assist settings to go on to have some manual transmission to go in. Alright, let's give it a go and see how one step for today's lesson on sim racing steering wheel. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to keep it good approaching on turn 1. Keep that steer on tight. Okay, that was a slow call. Now going in. Okay, looks like A to Pi and B batter is on the way. Gonna have to be patient and go right ahead. By learning using on manual mode to go on capable transmission. It works on professional racers in real life. That's how switching up gears is going to have to take some matters that you might need to do some stepping in and do some challenges like Master License Exam. And there's G. Barbara on 6th place. Pagadet is on the 5th. Driving the Volkswagen Golf first generation. Okay, stick shift is going check. Now gonna have to go back down onto gear 2. Okay, looks like still doing fine. Okay, Bonelli on 3rd. Welcome to Manual Transmission 101. Okay, just keep a good line, follow the trail, and have the 4th straightaway. Amp up on gear 3. Then let's try the stick shift. Okay, that's good. Now gonna have to keep a good maintained pace to stay on in. Oof, okay. 2 stick shift to go down earlier. Alright, Gallo is in the lead. Gonna have to catch up to him and do the left side. Okay, switch up onto gear 4. Come on. Let's try something else and going stick shift down onto number 1. Okay, keep it steady and go on gear 2. Hold it in and steer hard to the left. Okay, looks like I just get used to it. Man, if I ever need a camera, this will be doing the right time to get down to do some demonstration on how well am I doing on manual mode to go on stick shift. Okay, going down on gear 2. Keep this good 1st gen Corvette on the clean run. Well, looks like going way too faster is just yet to be far up ahead. Alright, now going on turn 7 to go right in. Watch the gear and stay on number 4. Ah, come on. Good grief. I should rather have this one to be added later on, but first step and first time ever to do on manual transmission to do some basic on the sim racing steering wheel. But I'm always gonna have to get used to it. But it takes one step to have experience to become as a professional sim racer. Alright, that's good. Back on gear number 2. Ship it up and go for 3. And there you go. Well, that wasn't so bad because doing one race with manual transmission just yet to do some training. Maybe I should probably have to learn that in the future to go on advanced level. Well, only on the GTWS Nations Cup and Manufacturers Cup that will be doing much possible for having a racing prediction to myself. So total time is going over by 5 minutes, fastest lap by 2 minutes, 33.212 seconds. Well, it'll have to take Fine Better Clean Race to go additionally by 15,000 credits to go by bonus. So there you go. Halfway there on today's driving marathon to go for having one replay by the save. Alright, just going to capture the thumbnail and go exit out. Alright. 2 races on Sunday Cup Classic by using Corvette C1 and C2 is finished. Now, let's get ready to go Proud American on Sunday Cup 600 to be set to go back on event directory to be at 45% in progress. This will be doing the right time, and I'll have to be here to go there for having the last 2 events. Going back to Grand Valley Highway 1, and yet of course to be having a good place additionally to have Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta for having 3 laps. Just only 2 more events to be having a past result is now being on participate. Alright, so looks like for my recommend pick, I'm about to go with 2 classic muscle cars made by Dodge. The 1970 Challenger RT and the 1968 Charger RT 426 Hemi. Built to be designed as the original brothers of the siblings made by Dodge, because the Challenger and Charger are like born to be as the first ever brothers in the first generation model. But it has many kinds of chassis and different looks by each day. But it has capable by carried out to be over with 400 horsepower. So maybe I should probably have to go by pick to have the Challenger, or the Charger is now actually to have a different performance. So why not start out with the Challenger in the 1970 is just yet to go classic and old fashioned to be on the reverse direction on Grand Valley Highway 1. Almost forgot to tell you folks, if every classic muscle cars might need to have some required work, now's the time, and get yourself to be purchased at the tuning shop before enter to have the return on American Sunday Cup 600. But yet, I just really might need to have this part of the video to be in progress until before tomorrow might need to do some maintenance by update. But it takes few minutes to be on processing from here until now. Well, all that bloopers and outtakes just giving me a hard time, and bit more distraction is giving me a tough, embarrassing moment. Alright, let's go on to the race menu and so looks like there is a female Gran Turismo player is here on the grid. So let's give this person a warm welcome. I'm Emily Jones, and I come from Australia. Taking the corner in the first tunnel of this track is a sheer thrill. Just make sure you know when to hit the brakes, otherwise you'll hit the wall. Nice. Looks like a female Gran Turismo player is about to be joining session on the track, and this is how she's about to be step in, and we're about to be see how she can do it much more fine serve as an opponent. Now Bortisaurus. I'm Daniel Soros from the United States. Grand Valley is full of beautiful flora and fauna. Look down and you may see the elephant seals sunbathing on sandy stretch of the beach. Look up and you may spot a California condor, a rare and majestic bird found only here. Well, only on the PS5 version, but not on the PS4 version. But I just really love to see some elephant seals to be laying around on the beach. That could be quite much more beautiful and much more sightseeing view out there on the highway coast on Big Sur, California. Well, I don't know how a female Gran Turismo player just came in a long way to be joined in on Gran Turismo 7. Well, that would be so very nice and amazing. So let's get the race on the road and go classic and muscle car. Alright, gonna have to keep a good maintained pace to go in because having a tight turns on reverse direction in Grand Valley Highway 1. So gonna have to keep a good use on the Challenger and step it in. Okay, looks like Emily Jones is in the lead. She's going in and stay on the defense along with Daniel Soros. Just only 10 seconds left. 3 laps, we'll be doing just fine. Okay, coming in. Make that outside going up the pace. Okay, B Bowder is back on the Mustang. Mach 1 version. Alright, there we go. Have that torque up and steady and coming out. Okay, looks like A. Felix on the 4th position in the Camaro C28. Gonna have to keep a good slow down and find a good clear opening. But there's one right now. Going steeper uphill. Last sector. Going by the opposite around in turn 6. Just 3 more cars to go, and going back onto the DualShock 4 controller to have the next part of the clip. Okay, 7 seconds left. First lap cleared to go onward in lap number 2. Looks like Ubalar is on position number 2 to catch up to Emily Jones. So Liz is now in the lead. Let's see how Emily can actually just gonna have to come up and do a different game plan strategy. But she might have to go girl power for this one, folks. Okay, there she is right now on position 2. Right behind on Rubalar in the same Challenger. Such magnificent view. Unlike the previous Gran Turismo games from number 1 to 6 that has a blue bridge, but not anymore, this one is clear open without any blue bridge around, just to have a natural scenic environment. Okay, looks like she's getting boxed in. Some say that Gran Turismo guys can actually do all the skills, but female girls can actually do all the experience to be playing on Gran Turismo. Okay, let's have that offense to go in. Come on, Emily. Let's see how you can handle this to catch up to Daniel. Going on the lineup. 3 Dodge Accompany, 1 Ford Mustang in the middle. Okay, that's good. Now gonna have to catch up to Rubalar, then Emily Jones. Okay. Doesn't matter because 2 challengers took a contact to each other. Alright. Now I'm on the dirt and catches up towards the final lap. Yeah, that's good. Second place. Now Daniel Soares is going on to have the next one in number 1. Final lap, up I go. It's Dodge versus Dodge, Viper GTS versus Challenger. Ooh, okay, looks like Liz is just gonna have to try to keep a good defense. He just really might have to wait for me for the moment. Now kick it up back onto gear 4. Let's see how the Viper is feeling underestimated with the Challenger. Okay, nice work. Gonna have to take that hard steering on the right and then go back in onto the tunnel bridge. Well, mostly we just recently passed by a few distance to go. Okay, now comes back for the tricky part. Stay steady. Last minute check on Emily Jones onto 4th place. She just really wants to get back up and stay focused on the top 3. Okay, push that puppy up. Going in. Now have that final turn to go on the lap. Gonna drop the hammer and stay on the line. Well, that's one part of the Dodge Brotherhood for the Challenger, and 1st place, well done. Whew. That's very good. So very glad and impressed to see one female Gran Turismo player to be entered on the track. Only in American Sunday Cup 600, but Classic does going faster to have a good pack of Hemi horsepower to be capable by over 400. Total time by the result is now being around in 6 minutes, 47.974 seconds, and fastest lap I took in lap number 2. 2 minutes, 14.711 seconds. Very much more impressive, and let's see how the Charger RT Hemi can actually to be much more stronger and better to its brother sibling. But only having 45,000 credits to be earned due to the contact by having 2 Challengers collide onto the middle of the race. Now let's have a replay to go capture thumbnail and skip on for having the next part in the 3rd lap. Okay, just give me a moment and see how one image to be well matched. Okay, that's good. So, that thumbnail image, give me a moment folks. So, that should be good enough. One Challenger and a Viper GTS. Just to have 2 Dodge vehicles is now perfectly to have a match perfect made to do it. So gonna have to take that next replay on number 3 to save, exit, then let's go on number 5 in American Sunday Cup 600 to be at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. To be surprised to see how the progress that you guys have ever been participate and some few events to be expanded and go forward to be entered on menu book collections. But not anymore after finishing to have all events and collecting more cars from number 1 through 39. But it'll have to take some time and just going to make sure that you might need to do some extra menu books to be doing some more events on participation. So final event up to Road Atlanta. This will have to take the second Dodge muscle car vehicle to go with the Charger. RT 426 Hemi 68 is just yet to become as the older brother. Unlike the Challenger, this does might have a good tricks and skills, and even yet to have a differences to be well put up to have a front facelift with the headlights to be hidden popped up. By any other different version is now yet to be putting up with a headlight version without any hidden headlamps is now being equipped. But that one is actually to have a good 1960 models is just yet to go by the late. Gonna have to take some time and be ready to have the final race and go for having a third lap. Okay, Ego Fraka is here. Hi, I'm Ego Fraka, the first GT World Champion. Today, I'll be racing in the first gen Chevrolet Corvette, the famed C1. The C1 is an American legend of motorsport. In 1960, it won international acclaim when it took a class title at the Le Mans 24 Hours. Wow, I didn't notice how a first generation Corvette just actually took part in 24 Hours of Le Mans. Sounds like good historic moment, and I kinda think this is very original to see how the original Corvette just took part in the first title of motorsport. So this is going to be quite very cool, and let's see how Ego Fraka can go first to be on the first position in the lead. So on the Charger, and ready up and go. So we're about to coming in on the first turn. Have the Plymouth Superbird to go overtake. Concentration and go American Classic. This has got a lot of good beats of horsepower is now being used on the Charger. Unlike the Fast and the Furious movie is being used for this Charger is being led by Vin Diesel, played by Dominic Toretto from the Fast and the Furious, and go all the way to Fast X. But I cannot believe it, the Fast and the Furious franchise just been doing this for so long. Very popular, and yet to have that famed Dodge Charger is becoming much more true brotherhood of the muscle car. So it'll have to take that more speed and just go increase the pace. Overtake on the Camaro SS 2016. Ford Mustang Mach 1 is on the 7. Now I'm on the 6. Coming in and do turn 10 by letter A and B. Alright, that's good. Now gonna have to stay closer on A Felix in 5th place. Gotta watch myself. Go for lap number 2. Keep that beast going. Okay, now go for turn 2 and 3. Brake and turn right. Okay, in about 5.9 seconds as Sector 2 enters, recently took for a fastest lap by 1 minute, 44.243 seconds. It'll have to take 4 American cars to go remaining, as I'm currently to be on the 5th. So looks like Emily Jones overtake Ego Fraka to be coming up in the lead. Come on Fraka, you and your first generation Corvette still got a lot of good speed to catch up to Emily Jones. But I'll have to be here and catch us up along with the other top 3 drivers. Okay, going in. Have the Challenger to go all in. Reach on top of turn 11. Gonna watch myself on turn 12. Got the opening. Stay up ahead. And final lap entered in number 3. Alright, that's good. Looks like coming up on third. So I'll have to take the few turns and watch out for the S's to coming around. Okay. Wow, talk about going more aggressive. Gonna stay ahead on Emily Jones. She's in the lead. Gonna have to kick the slipstream and go turn 6 and 7. .3 seconds. Almost there. Not yet far enough. Just gonna have to keep that puppy up and drive that beast muscle car to go in. There we go. Reduce the gap. And coming back on turn 10 by point A. This is where sector 3 comes in to do the last trick. Okay, she's going in. Looks like I had to do this and try to keep a good run. Gain too much, a little bit more speed, and oh, so very close. Yes, so very epic close. Wow, I cannot believe it. I just pulled that stunt off. Still got a lot of tricks up our sleeves, you guys. I just pulled that stunt up and I just made it in first place. So intense. So close and intense. Wow, I cannot believe it. I just been recently took the stay in the quick defense to be going on in first to be closer on the finish line by a decimal of .073 seconds. But I cannot believe it how the Charger just did a good push out there and do some slide turns on the final corner in number 12. So the fastest lap I took in third lap, 1 minute 39.808 seconds. Total time by over 5 minutes. Talk about having a close call for sure. Man, I cannot believe I was been going too aggressive to have one stretch closer towards the finish line. But even yet, clean race bonus is just yet to be saved. So there you go. 5-star roulette ticket is being received by a driving marathon in Daly. So let's have a quick moment on the replay because I just really might need to have that good epic finish. Alright, there it is right now. And looks like first thumbnail match. Too close to be seen. I'll have to keep that in mind. Okay, let's switch up the view. Okay, let's have a good look. Alright. That should be good enough to have one thumbnail image to be seen on the picture. So there you go. Fort replay saved, and there you have it. I just took one excellent speed to be going applied and make my way towards the podium. But it has to take a few more attempts that you might need to do for only one. Classic muscle cars just yet to be going old-fashioned to this day. So let's have a good check again on event directory. 2 races on Sunday Cup Classic and American Sunday Cup 600 is now being set by 100% complete. Right on time And this will be doing one part of the reward challenge, as I'm about to be ready to go for having the next stop to go on extra menu number 2. Let's have a visit at the GT Cafe and go on extra menus for having one part of the story to be on extra menu number 3. Rotary engine. 3 cars must be required to have some rotary engine cars are being special by Mazda. All you might need to do to have the 1990 Mazda RX-7 GTX FC model, FD in the Spirit R Type A 2002, and the Mazda RX-8 Spirit R 2012. Required to have a 6-star roulette ticket in the engine category. Let's have the receipt rewards and go for the story. Congratulations! You got all 3 cars. This completes your rotary engine collection. Once you collected your present, I got some stories to tell you about these cars. Alright, Luca. 3 rotary cars with 2 RX-7s and an RX-8. 1 roulette ticket is now being acquired. Then let's give it a go and have a good inspiration story about rotary engine. The Mazda RX-7 and RX-8 are rotary engine sports cars. They make a splendid collection indeed. You know, the story behind Mazda's rotary engines is actually quite fascinating. Rotary engines are in fact Wankel engines which were developed by the German automaker NSU in the 1950s. The man who came up with the concept was Felix Wankel, hence the engine's name. Rotary engines employed a design that is very different from piston engines. They use a revolving rotor to transmit motor force to the wheels. They are able to generate a great deal of power with relatively few parts. Wankel engines were once said to be the ideal engine. In 1961, Mazda, then called Toyo Kogyo, signed a technical cooperation deal with the NSU, gaining the rights to the Wankel and set to work to further develop it. However, the initial engine that NSU provided has many problems, presenting many challenges. Nevertheless, Mazda spent the next 6 years working to overcome them. In 1967, it unveiled the world's first dual-rotor rotary engine road car, the Cosmo Sport. Looking to the test and reliability of its new engine, Mazda entered the 84-hour Marathon de la Route at the legendary Nürburgring in Germany in 1968. The company finished 4th overall. Years later, at the 1991 24 Hours of Le Mans, Mazda's rotary engine power 787B became the first Japanese car to win the competition. Mazda is a company with more than 100 years of history, and the RX-7 and RX-8 certainly made their mark. We hope that the company's next generation of sports cars will continue to play a leading role in the history of rotary engines. So inspirational and truly successful to see how Mazda is technically to be built on rotary cars to be using by the original on the Cosmos Sport before urgently to become as an RX-7. Just to have different models along with the RX-8 is now being part as a rotary engine family. Unlike the 787B, this has got a lot of good history about the most passion of the engine made by Felix Wankel. And it's all thanks to him, his engine, and his inspiration of his vision will always meant to be continued to have his own dreams and become a reality for Mazda for spending 100 years in the making. So looks like that will be doing much fine impressive to have the third extra menu, so gonna have to go proceed on number 4 of the extra menu in the next video. But speaking of which, by having part 71 in the next walkthrough, I'm about to take on in menu book number 40 to take part in the Lightweight K-Cup. 3 events will be going to be having one part of the track location needs to be stamped to have one Radical SR3 SL 2013. Finish in 3rd place or higher at Tokyo Expressway, south clockwise, east and reverse session on Autodrome Lago Maggiore, and streets of Willow Springs on International Raceway. Alright, time to wrap this up before at the end of the video, so I'll have to keep that in mind when doing on live stream recording session to have this one will be updatable before tomorrow, and the previous might need to go on the fix by update. But I'll have to leave it to myself just to be creative, and yet of course to have a main participation after clear from Sunday Cup Classic and American Sunday Cup 600 to have my main part to go on the cliche. But I know, just to be creative and come up to have my main part to have a good GT7 journey to myself. But you guys have to do your part, and I'll have to do my part to go on the way. So thank you for enjoying watching the video on Gran Turismo 7. Glad that you enjoyed. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, then click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Don't forget to check it out on any social media platforms like Deepnet Art, Instagram, Twitter, GT Planet, Patreon, Discord, and more to see for my image artwork like UDRS liveries, Vision Total Drama fan art with car liveries, and more whenever you're welcome at any time. I'll be seeing you guys next time on Gran Turismo 7, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.